In this video, I'm going to show you how to create pop-ups. So let's navigate over to our website by clicking on View Your Website on the top left-hand side. And I'm going to go ahead and just add a template to this page. Let's go with the cake template. Sure, let's be pink and cute. Replace those and apply that. So now I want to create a pop-up for this page and I want to link it to my Learn More button. So what I'm going to do is come up here to the top left-hand side. Again, don't know my left from my right. Top left-hand side. Click on pop-ups and I'm going to add a new pop-up. And to do that, all I have to do is click Add Pop-up. And you'll see that I have a bunch of pre-made templates that I can choose from. So I can start off and say, yeah, I want to use this cute pink one. It goes with my cute pink theme. And then I can go ahead and customize all of the elements on this page. So this pink doesn't quite match the pink of the rest of my pop-up, but I might, so yeah, I want to go ahead and maybe change that color. So I would come and find, where's the background for this? Perhaps it is the pop-up background itself. There we go. Yes, it is. So I want to change that pink to be more of the pink color that we've got back there. Maybe a bit darker. There we go. Cool. That's a good pink. I got way too focused on the color of that pink. So there we go. We've changed the color of the background of our pop-up, and you can change the opacity of that background as well. So I've selected the pop-up settings itself, and this is where I'm fiddling with the background. And you'll see here that the pop-up has a bunch of other settings as well. The first thing you're going to want to do is change the name of your pop-up. So I'm going to say that this is pink pop-up. Then you're going to choose how it's positioned. So if it's over the content or if it's going to push the content, I'm going to keep it over the content. You can choose whether or not you have an overlay. So currently it's putting a pink overlay onto the page, not a pink overlay, a white overlay onto the page. You can go ahead and edit this as well. You can make it light or dark, any color you want. You can choose the alignment of where you want this pop-up to show up. So if you want it to show up on the left, if you want it to show up on the right, if you want it to show up anywhere else on the screen, you can do that. I'm going to leave it centered. You can also choose a trigger. So you can choose for it to be triggered on this page. So you can say, yes, I do want this to trigger when users are simply on this page. And you can choose for it to trigger on the page load or on exit intent. So if you want this to pop up just as someone is about to exit your website, then you can do that. But we can also have it pop up on page load. You can choose the delay time and how frequently you would like this pop-up to show up. You can also customize the close button. So currently there isn't a close button. If someone wanted to exit out of it, they could simply click away from it. But we want to add a close button. We want to be nice, give them a close button. And here you can go ahead and customize that close button as well. You can change the color, you can change the icon, you can change the size, all of that. You can also align the content within this pop-up. So currently it's justified to the start. You can center it. Nothing is changing here because it's all pretty well contained within this small pop-up. You can also add spacing, so margins and padding works the same as with everything else. You can change the height and overall size of the pop-up. So if you want this to take up the entire page, you can do that pretty much. You can make it take up as much space as you want or as little space as you want. I'm going to not do that though. I'm going to make it a bit more of a reasonable size. There we go. And then you can also give it a border. You can give it a background. We've already played with the background, and you can give it a shadow as well. So all of those things that you can do with everything else you can do. You can also change the animation style for the pop-up as well. So it can fade in, it can bounce in, zoom in, and you can change all of these items as well. And again, anything that you can do in the page designer itself, you can do here within the pop-ups. You can change all of the settings for all of the elements in the page, well, in the pop-up as you would on the page designer. So it's all exactly the same. So now that I have created this pop-up, I can come over here to my pop-up settings, make sure that everything here is exactly as I want. I can also exit the pop-up editor. Something else that's important to do is to publish your pop-up. So I'm going to click over here on publish. It's going to ask me if I want to publish the current version of the pop-up. Yes, I do. And then that is published. So now that is saved over here in my pop-ups. So I am going to exit the pop-up editor, and now I want to link that pop-up to a button. So I'm going to click on my button, and I'm going to come here to my redirect settings, and I'm going to select a pop-up. And then from here, I would select my pop-up, which is named new pop-up and not pink pop-up. I clearly didn't save the change in the name. And there you go. So then I can publish that, and there we go. And then when I preview my page and I click on that button, boom, there's my pop-up. Now, here's the thing. You can have as many pop-ups as you want. So if I come out of preview mode and I exit the pop-up editor and I decide that I want to create another pop-up, I can add a pop-up, and I'm just going to go ahead and select, let's select the yellow one. Then I can go ahead and change this to, say, yellow pop-up, and I can publish those changes. And then I can go ahead and link this to something else. So yeah, I can say that this pop-up I do actually want to trigger on this page on exit intent, and then this is going to show up on exit intent. Or I can say that, no, I don't want this to be linked to this page. I just want this pop-up to exist. So I'm going to, again, publish those changes, exit out of the pop-up editor, and then I can come here to another button and I can create a different redirect for this. And I can say new pop-up, and I would select my yellow pop-up, and then I can go ahead and publish those changes. And again, when I go and preview that, there we go. That pop-up is now working on that particular button. So that is how you can create multiple different pop-ups that are triggered in multiple different ways on your website. So now that you know how to create pop-ups, go ahead, play around with them, play around with the triggers and linking them to different buttons, and make as many pop-ups as you want. There's no limit to how many unique pop-ups you can have, and no limit to how many different pop-ups you have on one single page. It's completely up to you, but maybe be a little bit reasonable about your pop-ups. So now that we've covered pretty much everything that you need to know about the Page Designer, in the next video, I'm going to go into responsive design and helping you design pages that are visually appealing on all different devices. I'll see you there.